Hello, so here I am in the Hampshire countryside and I am in a place called Preston Candover, which has two churches. Well, I should say it has one church and a fragment of another. There's a Victorian parish church and we have what's left of the medieval church, the old church, which now forms a mortuary chapel and is in the care of the church's conservation trust. All that's left of the medieval church in Preston Candover is the 13th century chancel, which I'm just passing now. 13th century fabric, but notice some rather fine later buttresses, the angles. And it's such an atmospheric tiny little building. I thought I'd just do a very, very quick tour of the interior. There's not much to see, but it is very, very lovely. So passing a 13th century door, which has on its jamb, can you see there, a mass dial, a sundial. Basically built, a lot of Hampshire churches of flint and brick. A churchyard here where the medieval church would have been, and then we enter via the west end of the chancel. So I'm really at this point at the head of the nave, a lost nave. Well, here we are. So a round-headed door. Date. Yeah, it looks 16th century to me. Above that, built into this wall, which is 19th century, there's a coffin lid with a cross, a 13th century coffin lid with a cross, and some other fragments. A tiny little bell in a bell cot there. So let's go in. Open the door and have a look. Get adjusted to the light. Now, there's not much to this church, given that it is only the chancel of the medieval church. But it has a delightful atmosphere, added to, I think, by these lovely distemper walls. These pink distemper walls. Red and yellow ochre mixed to make that lovely subtle pink. Really is very beautiful. There's some monuments here. Some tablets on the walls, 18th century tablets. The Soper family. It's rather nice with a crest at the top. Bits of reused 18th century box pew. On the other side, the Victorian parish beer, but in the corner there, the 17th or 18th century beer stood on its end. Just to think, a lot of people commemorated by these tablets were probably brought for burial on that beer. There's Thomas Baker's tablet there. And then if we look towards the east end, there are some remains of medieval wall paintings, a consecration cross there, and then Victorian wall paintings above. And the same on the other side, another medieval consecration cross, presumably 13th century. And then the floor, which is a delightful patchwork of brick, of old ledger slabs, what appear to be some old headstones that have been moved in from outside, and some medieval tiles. So there's a little panel here with some rather lovely medieval tiles. Some of them decorated with slip, others incised. The odd anomaly of a nice 18th century Delft tile there. Never seen that in a church before. Really, really nice. And then just in front of, well, just below where the communion table would have been, is this Elizabethan brass. Well, very late Elizabethan, no Jacobean, is it? What date is it? Here lieth the body of Catherine d'Abrigort, daughter unto Thomas Legate of Dagenhams in the county of Essex, Esquire, and late wife under Thomas d'Abrigort of Preston Candover, gentleman, who died in 1607. Very fine indeed. I see engraved effigy of her. A couple more brasses here. One early 18th century one to Mr. John Waterman, who was minister of this church and Nutley for 59 years. And his father and uncle was minister of the said church before. He died in the faith of Christ in the year 1762. And above is the brass of Dorothy Marsh, the wife of Edmund Marsh. A rather nice ledger slab here of the 18th century to Elizabeth, the daughter of John Soper, Esquire, beautifully engraved. So it's just a building of great charm and atmosphere, nothing particularly special, though it has one or two interesting features. What do we make of this reading desk here made of bits of old woodwork? But yes, I'm distracted for a moment. It's just a delightful little building. It's just got a very lovely little atmosphere and a great church to visit right at the end of the day. Just a place in which to sit and soak in the atmosphere. So this is the chancel of the medieval church of St Mary in Preston Candover in Hampshire. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Now I want to tell you very briefly about another new initiative I've got on the go at the moment. I've just launched my own magazine. It's called The Antiquary. The content reflects what you get on this YouTube channel. It's antiquarian miscellany really, which is beautifully and copiously illustrated